hopefully it's a little bit more chaotic, because if it's too predictable, the illuminating slash coming out from Musashi cancels out destructive deluge, it cancels out tragic beauty, it cancels out quite a few skills coming in.
Yeah, and just being that frontliner, just doing that damage, kind of, I mean, from the Musashi, that is, it's way too much. I felt like the Fei Zhang Fei wasn't able to contribute as much. His unbridled outbursts were mainly used in defense just to kind of stay alive. But, it's a sad day when your Zhang Fei is using his ult defensively. Like, he wants to be aggressive, he wants to be controlling for the rest of your team to just light them all up. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a different outcome, but thus far, the Yuan might be a better pick for them.
Yeah, okay. So defensive, I don't think that's a big problem, right? But if it's defensive with no follow-up, meaning you don't turn back into the fight, then yes, that is kind of unfortunate. And at this point, I like the bans coming out, right? Mozi and Lianpo coming out for the bans on the side of Nongshim. They don't want to deal with that backline access. They don't want to deal with the constant nuisance of getting cannon blasted down and in their faces as well.
One thing to take note of, though, in the draft is that the Yuan pick up by Nongshim, the Musashi from Fearless Esports, but Ogren, not even banned, not even picked. What is going on, guys?
Okay, I think Ogren, personally, is counterable, right? If he doesn't have a good start to the game, it's kind of hard for him to recover, because especially when you have a lot of crowd control and burst potential, Ogren actually suffers quite a lot if he doesn't have the lead.
Okay. And I think both of these teams understand how to play against it more than anything else. So not the biggest of surprise, but I just think overall it's funny because all the other teams and all the other drafts have been like, oh, Ogren's there, must take it no matter what. Oh, speaking of which, they do pick it.
All right, so Nongshim gonna prove you right there. It looks like they want the Ogren, but I like this pick. It's the Marco Polo, one of my personal favorites when I get picked up in the farm lane as well. Now, good damage coming in, but once again, you're dealing with someone like a Musashi, you're dealing with someone like a Princess Frost, and if your setup is not right, you get destroyed instantly.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Siri to make some plays with him. I mean, but it's going to be all throughout the rest of the team, setting him up for success. To Azure point, he's very vulnerable, right? I think that, Fearless Esports have a lot of, ways to get out of the Fever Barrage. You have the options of, if he's just going to roll on in, you have the Princess Frost, so the winner is here. So again, you have to be almost immaculate with your skill selection.
Yep, and this Da Xiao pick is not going to help out any further as well. With the Severing Surge, with the Leaping Koi Tide, it's actually very detrimental to a Marco Polo player, because sure, you can land your Fever Barrage, but any stun takes you out of that state.
Yeah, and Da Xiao has a bunch. So, plus it can be super annoying. I mean, we can see some potential split pushing. The coaches are going to shake hands. This is, of course, going to be the Game 3. This is pretty much all she wrote. Who wants this one? Who wants to take the lead? Fearless Esports thus far have been 2-0'd the other teams, and going into this one, they thought, hey, we're going to have an easy time against Nongshim. Nongshim struck back and hit them hard in that first game, but Fearless Esports are back, and now we are into Game 3.
All right, welcome to Game 3. This is the clinic, because we're going to have a clinical performance by one of these teams as they look to dismantle the other. Now, Fearless Esports against Fearless Esports Hong Kong and Nongshim Red Force. This is the game decider.
Yeah, this is going to be the most important one. Nongshim, there's going to be a lot more pressure to do more in that early phase, in the early game. Fei right now using his smite, taking out some boards, but I think he's going to get gone on. He's going to use Forbidden Domain, and he's going to ask for help. He does get it, but now he's a little bit low. The Sea of Fate used more than defensively. He zips on back. He's just going to recall, and he's going to be right.
And this is going to be a foreshadowing of what's going to happen predominantly throughout this match, right? We're going to see maybe some very sick saves with the Sea of Fate, and Woodwind will be looking to just have the play of his life, because he is the most disruptive character in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, just getting on out, calling your friends in back with that whirlpool. Just, you got a pool party, everybody wants to join. That's definitely going to be, super annoying to deal with if you're a Nongshim fan. But nonetheless, if we're going to look at the top lane, Siri going up against Xinglin, he's like, hey, I think I can handle this matchup, but what about this Marco Polo lane matchup, is good for you?
Lovely, right? The fact that they switch lanes, this is a very smart understanding of what is the win condition, right? Honestly, a lane struggles pretty hard against a Marco.
Yeah. Okay, but look at Dao Dao. Slowly making his way to the top lane. Is he able to get the gank? No, it looks like Siri's a little bit on this. He sees it. Oh, okay, but they're going to get Faye. Faye was not as lucky, but Siri did get on out of there. He's going to survive.
Yep, this is not the best start coming in from this side of Nongshim Red Force, but this is exactly what Fearless Esports needs to do, right? They need to shut down Siri because anytime that Siri has a significant lead, take a look at it, he has a level lead against KK as well, even though they are of different lanes.
Yeah, different lanes. And here's the replay. Faye, just got caught out, not able to get away. And even in, Dao Dao had hit the duel to the death at that point. Nice understanding when you got that ult and just making that gank attempt. Really smart play by Dao Dao, and it's what we expected.
Yeah, silver lining, Siri didn't die. So that is a good situation at this point. But Siri needs to get all the farm he can get as well. And looks like, you know what? Fearless Esports, they're not going to make the rotation. They don't mind having this trade at this point.
Yeah, I think they're fine with it. Just let them overcommit, and then Dao Dao will just come in and just get a kill and just be on his merry way, right? I mean, Dao Dao has been on point. He's level 6. He's a little bit behind Haku, of course, who's just farming very well, but probably taking a little bit of farm in that mid lane. But in the top lane, Jinglin has not had the easiest of times going up against this 1 versus 2 matchup here.
Let's be honest, right? In a 2v1, I think he's doing pretty well. Yes, he's suffering quite a lot, but as long as he's able to hold his own, I think Fearless Esports will be able to turn the marker against Nongshim Red Force.
Yeah, it's a big, huge commitment of resources in that top lane, right? Asiri will get his farm, but you have 2 members here. That means someone else is struggling in the other lanes, which is looking to be Kyung, who's not had the greatest of times, as there's 3 members of Fearless Esports just waiting in the wings, and now make that 4, as they call the Whirlpool. Now they're going to take this bottom T1, and it looks like Nongshim, all they can do is watch.
Yeah, stock standard play here, right? It's really about the map control, similar to game number 1. I don't think they will be able to achieve it though. Unfortunate for them. So this is a small win for the side of Nongshim Red Force. Let's see what else can they do to try and even out the pressure.
Yeah, but that bottom T1 is really low. They did a lot of structural damage, and that's what you want as Fearless Esports. I mean, yeah, they didn't get a kill or anything like that, but putting that pressure on, and now Dao Dao looking to just go in for this one. He fighting 1 versus 3. Here are his friends. Winner is here, and they do have the Unbridled Outburst pushing him back. The Bridge of Prison, though, onto Faye, and there looks like, Kyung getting a little bit low. He's passing away, but Faye somehow gets a steal with this smite. He's going to be on point. Haku, he gets Koi tied at end, severing surge, but here's his death. That sunset right on top of him. He wants to go. He gets the meteor kill as well, and they do have the flaming palm, and they snipe out Haku.
Too hard to handle at this point. The spice level is too much even for the likes of Nongshim here, and that's simply because nobody was able to lay hands on the KK.
Yeah, and Fearless Esports take out the blue buff, and they go on their merry way with that kill as well. So all in all, not the a pretty good play by Fearless Esports.
Yeah, but Nongshim Red Force, I mean, impressive, right? Faye, Haku, both of them obviously showing off their jungling skills and timings with these smite steals as well.
I mean, that's all you need. Just quick fingers. Jungle, right? But the Fever Barrage, the Infinite Mass is not out of there. He chops him out, but he does go down, and he got that kill in return. Fable's gonna be there with that Whirlpool. He did get the bat signal, and he came in, but Kyung and Siri both down.
Yep, not an ideal situation at all. A very nice Frigid Prison to kind of stop Haku from approaching, and at this point it buys him a little bit more room, but you can see Nongshim, they understand what's at risk here. They want to go a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, you got to be aggressive at this point. Nongshim changing it up, right? They do not want to play defensive. Haku will secure the blue buff here. He's got both of them, Dao Dao as well, so something to take note of. He wasn't able to get any of his buffs in game 2 with that Luna, but here's the Sea of Fate if they want to go. Dao Dao will zip back to safety.
Yep, and at this point, I don't think there's anyone that's going to be able to kind of disrupt that TP from the Sea of Fate, right? They need a knockup, and maybe Kyung would be able to do it, but I don't think it's worth it to use a Conductor of Souls to kind of knock them up just to stop them from the TP, unless it's worth a kill.
Yeah, unless you're going to secure that one. Okay, but here's the Umbrella Outburst, the Fever Barrage right on top of him, and it looks like he's going to be killed, and Dao Dao is down for the count. Trying to fight 1 versus 2, but Faye and Siri, nice 1-2 combination.
Yep, perfect actually. And that was a big win for the side of Nongshim Red Force. So they're fighting back. There is some life in them. I like this. But right now, there's a lot more things to achieve. They need to happen over and over again for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, it looks like Nongshim now have been backed up. They were not able to get that bottom T2. It looks like Xinglin has joined that part. Oh, and sorry, he's in the top lane with Kyung dueling. Now, look, Ogren, Kyung, 3.7k, hasn't had the most amount of farm. Like, at what point are you kind of comfortable with a Clash laner Ogren?
I think he needs to go for a little bit more defensive measures, right? So maybe at the point where he gets the Eye of the Phoenix, maybe that would be the turning point for him, because right now he's not exactly very tanky.
Yeah, the path to passing, he's going to be chased at by the Death at Sunset. Siri's going to be there. Nice Resplendent Revolver doing a lot of damage. He's going to take most of this with the Fever Barrage, and he actually bypasses most of it. Dao continuing to fight. He wants to go for this one. The duel to the death, but the Conductor of Souls keeps him alive, and Kyung will take that kill.
Very nice, very nice. Coming in from the side of Nongshim Rip Force. They are biting back for sure. Right now, the gold is pretty much even at this point.
Yeah, they're striking back, they're figuring things out, and they're, doing it well, but I think Dao is being a little over-aggressive. If he had the farm that he had in Game 2, which carried over into this one, makes sense. This one, he's a little bit on the weaker side. He needs to play a little bit more cautiously, in my opinion.
Okay, interestingly, I like this movement from Kyung, right? In terms of itemization, he's actually going for the Frost Guard's Embrace, so it speaks volumes. They want to be a bit more aggressive and not really just tanking it up.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Faye here, spotting most of this stuff out. He's going to spot out 3 members of Fearless Esports right now who are kind of, prioritizing the bottom lane a little bit. The Vanguards are going to be pushing. That top is going to be there. Kyung is making a beeline for it to provide a little bit more pressure. But with 3 members of Fearless Sports in the mid lane, Haku looking to invade. Fearless Esports right now, again, not all over the map and playing a little bit more on the defensive side.
Yep, and you can start to see, right, the benefits of taking that T1 on the bot, right? The map is a little bit more open, and sure, they'll pressure. It would be great if FEHK gets a steal here, let's see. Not gonna happen, but yeah, at this point, Nongshim, they're fine with that, because look at the top lane.
Yeah, and Kyung pushing it out. I mean, Haku was spotted in the top lane, or he making a move up there. So Dao was like, okay, the call, let's take the Tyrant. We know Haku's not even here. There's no chance for a Smite steal, so we'll take this one quickly, and they do so. And now, look at this gold graph. It is up and down like my heart. I cannot take it.
Yep, and we might see a potential fight coming in the next few minutes, right? Because at this point, Nongshim, I think they have hit certain strides. Not sure if Kyung has completed the Frost Guard Embrace, but I'm pretty sure once he has it, they're looking for an opening.
Yeah, Kyung right now, he's level 11. He's on point with Xinglin, who's generally speaking, he levels quite quickly, gets a lot of farm. So he needs to keep this one up. But the gold graph, skewing.
Yep, EXP as well, right? Now it is all in the lead of Nongshim.
Yeah, it's all in favor of them right now. I mean, they're up higher than 1.2. Looks like Fearless Esports are going to push and then just, of course, use the Sea of Fate to get on out of there. And this is like the cheeky play that the Woodwind Da Chao can kind of bring to the table.
Yeah, for sure. And at this point, Kyung might get caught out. Oh, everyone is here.
Oh, it looks like they want to go. They've called the Whirlpool, but they're looking to fight the Resplendent Revolver. The Unbridled Outburst is going to be used as well. Dao, the Whirlpool, excuse me, has been committed, but Xinglin is just completely not in the fight. They have the Sea Fate. Any way to stop it? No, they have no answers for that.
Yep, and that was a big play. Let's be honest, that was a big play from Fearless because they got them to overcommit so many times. Look at the ultimates. Nobody has ultimates except for Kyung and Haku.
Yeah, everything was committed. They tried to burst it down, but again, Fearless Esports, they're like, hey, zip on out of there. We've got the teleporter. Beam me out, Scotty, because I'm going to go back to the base, and then I'm going to take this Tyrant here. And again, Fearless Esports are doing a great job of, yeah, we can't really push towers, and we can't, we're dealing with the lanes, but we're going to take all the big neutrals.
Oh, yeah, so at this point, two very different camps of thought, right? Nongshim, of course, with the Overlord Vanguard, right? They want to go for the objectives in terms of towers. But Fearless Esports, because they went for the Tyrant, they're looking for something different. They want to go for team fights instead.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Nongshim wanted to take the fight to them, but again, Fearless Esports is like, actually, we don't want to fight, but in the mid lane, the Sea of Fate, that's going to be used on the backside. The Unending Sorrow backing things up. They don't use the Sea of Fate, and it looks like they're just going to disengage at this point as Kyung makes a beeline for that bottom line to kind of push with that Vanguard.
Yeah, they couldn't find an opening, right? That's why Fearless Esports didn't commit to that fight. And Nongshim, they're perfectly fine because at this point, the map is in their favor. They just have to play safe, that's all.
play safe, but it's one of those things where, you know, again, Fearless Esports don't want to fight 5v5. They're just going to continually split push. FEHK getting caught out a little bit, the Leaping Savior, but here comes his friends, Kyung, but they have the Whirlpool in return. They have all 5 members, the Conductor of Souls, and the Death at Sunset over the wall. He flashes over the wall as well. Kyung is looking to turn this around. Resplendent Revolver just zoning them away. Haku still up in front, shooting those Mournful Temples out, but that T1 mid is taking a little bit of damage. FEHK's about half-life. They're continuing to do damage, and they're chasing. They've gotten the mid T1, and it looks like Siri's pushing the bottom T2, so there's a little bit more pressure in. Sea of Fate gonna be used. They want to go onto Haku, who's taking a lot of damage. He actually backs off. He uses the Unending Sorrow to keep himself alive. The minions are still there. Kyung looking to go in the top lane to fix the lane.
Yep, a very hard wrestle around the map at this point, right? Simply because now they have taken a loss on a T2 on the top, but likewise, they have managed to break down that T1 in the mid on the side of Fearless Esports. So both teams, they have had valid wins across the map so far.
All right, do you think the top T2 is more valuable than the T1 mid?
I think T1 mid kind of sets the tone, right?
Yeah.
Because now they have an unfair advantage in terms of vision, right? They still have the T1 and mid on the side of Nongshim, so they do have a little bit more vision there. That's a bit more safety off it. At least
this
in
is so
theory.
weird. This is so weird. I actually agree with you. What is going on, Ren?
The winds of change, man, and it looks like the winds of change have influenced that Nongshim are currently in the lead.
This is, I mean, it's still very close. 1.4 is really nothing. Like one big team fight and Fearless Esports can get back in this game. But again, it's really Nongshim's game to lose at this point, not to put more pressure on them. But again, being in the lead and not really having full map control is a little bit more difficult. It's still a bit of a coin flip for me.
Well, I'll tell you who are big fans of Nongshim at this point. Scars is. This is going to shake up the table for sure. Now, with this being said, let's take a look at the growth of the items. We already have the Dragon's Rage on Dao Dao along the Long Night Guardian, Blazing Cape as well. Does not have the Giant's Crypt just yet. Maybe that would be that little change in marker that puts Fearless Esports one-upping themselves against Nongshim Red Force.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Siri here. 10.3k net worth lead, the first to breach the 10k limit. He's been on point. I mean, yeah, he's only died once, but man, this guy is his ability to get farm and you know, Haku as well. Both of them 10.3k.
Yeah, and probably last item will be going for the Sage's Sanctuary. They need a little bit more survivability.
Oh, the Death at Sunset, he wants to go. The Unbridled Outburst pushes them away, says none of this. I don't want any of that action. They're going to leave the Overlord alone, but they deal with the mid lane instead. But again, the Unbridled Outburst was committed on this.
Yep, so now it's a wrestle for control, right? Now we have to make sure they manage the waves. Which neutral objective do they want to go for?
Oh, Whirlpool. They're going to look to maybe go for this one. KK is looking to do some damage on the backside, and they have Dao Dao, who's taking a lot of damage. But the winner is here. The Severing Surges and the Koi Tide just creating this area of the DMZ, so to speak. But here's the Infinite Vastness. He's going to back on out of this one. They're continuing on. The Conductor of Souls is on point. Does end up getting Fabled. But Nongshim, a little on the low side. Everybody's a little weak. It looks like they're going to back off and just take this Tyrant as quickly as possible.
Is that the best decision here? Because look at that, Dao Dao and Woodwind are here as well.
It's a little bit on the scarier side. Dao Dao does have the smite if they want to go. Haku gets a little bit low as well. Haku doesn't have the smite. That's why they're not overcommitting for this and trying to force it down. Nice Resplendent Revolver, but Dao Dao's taking a lot of damage. Oh, but FEHK with a smite, he gets it, and Dao Dao is down for the count as well. Ogren, oh, Kyung is just tearing him up, and he started to do his damage.
Yep, and this is a big win for the side of Nongshim Red Force. Now it is all about the control of the game. They do have the waves pushing in on the bot lane, and I think very shortly, the Yuan Haku will be pushing the top as well.
Oh my gosh, all 5 members, 2 members down from Fearless Esports. They're starting to take the bottom T2 and they're just starting to choke them out with that play on that Tyrant. That was absolutely huge for Nongshim. This net worth lead is about 5k at this point. Nongshim are starting to feel it, and they can actually take some lessons from Professor Kindofu in this map control here.
Yep, at this point, I can feel the momentum, right? I can feel the swing as well. And Fearless Esports, they have to hang on because at this point, it really is a waiting game.
It's a waiting game, but they need to push. I mean, they're slowly pushing. If anything, they're just forcing them, you know, Fearless Esports to just hide and cower in their base. But this top T3 is taking some damage, and it does go down. Haku gets the kill on that one, but now they're going to back off, look to regroup. Really smart play by Nongshim here.
Yeah, but I like this. Very good patience, right? So Nongshim, now all they have to do is to just back off, let the waves crash in, wait for the next 3-wave sync, and maybe at that point make a decision. Do we go for the overlord? Because there's about like, what, 5 seconds left of the primal bond? Let's go for that instead. That's a much safer option.
Safer option. They got to work around these minions, right? The waves have all been pushed. Fearless Esports have taken all 3 and defended on that side. But now this Overlord is basically free because they know that Fearless Esports had to have dealt with the lane, the minions being pushed.
Okay, so this is where champions are made, right? So it's about adaptability, it's about resilience. Right now, if Fearless Esports win this fight, they could be able to end the game. But they need to make sure that the top wave is consistently pushing in because that's the only way in.
Okay, and now Fearless Esports, it looks like they're going to be using the Dachau special, which is pushing with Woodwind and Jinglin to just push this one out, but the Shadow Vanguard says, nay, I will not have any of that, and now they have to back off. And it looks like, you know, Nongshim have an answer for that with that Shadow Vanguard there.
Okay, so it's a 1 wave, no, 3 waves in sync together.
Yeah, it's going to be going in together, and of course they do have, the Winter is here, zoning them away. They've been pushed out, they're going to wait for the next Vanguard to be pushing in this one. And it looks like the mid or the bottom is the answer. Oh, but the Sea of Fate keeping him alive. Fable will heal back up. Steery's getting a little bit low.
Overlord Vanguard approaching on the top lane as well.
That's something to take note of. They're going to just rotate. They have 3 members of Fearless Esports looking to take the top lane to deal with that, to burn it down as quickly as possible. This is a bit of an opening, but with no Vanguard in the mid or the bottom lane, this is that opening. Fearless Esports actually handled that quite well.
Yep, they missed their shot on the side of Nongshim Red Forest. It's really unfortunate, right? They couldn't sync up the waves at the correct time. And this is where the draft of Fearless Esports makes so much sense because they have decent damage. KK is a very painful person at this point.
Yeah, and I think they're going to go back into this. I mean, whatever the result of this game, I think Nongshim being able to coordinate that attack with the Shadow Vanguard being pushed in the top lane might come back to haunt them because I felt like they should have gotten a little bit more value, but they do need to be careful. But here, no, they got the Sea of Fate. Not going to happen. The Dachau special. This is the thing. This is the problem. You go for the commitment, but you don't actually have the control to knock them out of that.
It was half a second too early. That was it. Half a second too early on Kyong. If not, he would have stopped the TP.
Okay, but it's really hard to time. I mean, to say that, like, I mean, this professional level I expected, but, you know, to hit it consistently, not the easiest of things to do. Speaking of getting hit, it looks like they're going to look to turn this around. They want to go for this one. Jinglin actually going a little ham, a little too aggressive, but some ults were committed. The Unbridled Outburst, the Conductor's Souls, but that might have been the wrong time to use it. Kyung, he's going to go down. Sage's Sanctuary, but he's so low. He's immune for a second, but he does get picked off. Fable sitting in that when the winner is here was on point, and Kyung is down for the count. Now Fearless Esports have a bit of a gap here.
Oh, they fumbled the bag there. At this point, Nongshim Esports, no, Nongshim Red Force, great. They get the, no, they don't even get it because the timer is counting down.
Yeah, the Tempest Dragon going to be up in about 20 seconds now. This is that window of opportunity. And again, a little bit of a dip. This is a little scary if you're a Nongshim Red Force fan because, again, you had full control, but now you've kind of let Kyung die on that one. I don't know why he was looking to take that fight. He was way up ahead. The rest of Nongshim wasn't even there. Siri, who's your main damage dealer, wasn't in position to help you out. So, again, not on the same page, everybody.
Count your lucky stars, man, because at this point, it is simply because of the Tempest Dragon that Nongshim gets another chance here.
Yeah, this is going to be it. But Fearless Esports looking to fortify the area around it right now. Just sticking around, just pushing it out. But, got to be a little on the careful side. Kyung is pushing in the bottom lane. Fearless Esports did spot that out because of the vision of those minions. The top lane, it looks like Dao is looking to just kind of fix the lane in that one. But again, the Tempest Dragon still wide open. I don't think any team goes for it at this moment.
Yep, but that timing is really, really tight, right? Because if Nongshim understands this, Dao is not here.
Yeah, not yet. He's going to be spotted out, but Nongshim are like, hey, we're just going to continue to defend this tower mid, stick this around. And they do have a numbers advantage, but instead they just send out Kyung. He will deal with Dao. Hopefully look to just push him away more than anything else. The Whirlpool has been called. If they want to call in Dao, it doesn't look like they're going to do so.
Yep, he needs to consistently clear the lanes here at this point. And now this is the combination of all of the efforts, right? They sowed the seeds. Nongshim Red Force now have the advantage on the top lane, and it's something that Fearless Esports cannot ignore at any stage of the game. So this is where I think a very good play. Kyong is going to try and start cutting the waves here.
Oh, Dao finds Siri, he's going to be on this one, but he did have it. Nice Fever Barrage. He's doing some damage, but Siri taking a lot of damage. The Conductor of Souls, and it looks like Siri's down, but they did get Dao in return. What can they get in after this one? It's 4-on-4.
There's no smite. This is a horrible situation to be in for the side of Fearless Esports. Now, Nongshim, they would definitely beeline towards that Tempest Dragon. It's up to the rest of the team on the Fearless Esports. Can they delay this? Can they make them reset the Tempest Dragon?
Yeah, Haku's looking to just go for this one. He's starting to slowly whittle it down with Faye. Mind you, Kyung and Xinglin fighting in the top lane, providing it. But KK, he infinite fastest. That's an alt down. Sea of Fate was expended as well. Something to take note of, especially when it comes down to cooldowns. The Tempest Dragon right now at about half life. They get knocked up. I don't think Fearless Esports can actually defend, but Dao is up in about 5 seconds. And it looks like their Woodwind sticking around does provide vision. This is going to be super close. It looks like Nongshim are going to give this up because they're scared that Dao can come in with that Whirlpool.
No, I feel like that's a huge missed opportunity there. They should have gone for it. But, you know, nonetheless, I think I respected the decision. There is a potential of the Eye of the Whirlpool to summon Dao in. They were just really scared of that skill. I mean, you had consistently stolen, you know, buffs away with the smite. Why are you so scared of this one?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how to answer that one. I think that you're right in the sense that they were scared. They weren't looking to push this one out. Again, it didn't seem like, I mean, they had a number of, well, they could have pushed it out, but they didn't really have Siri to help just burn it down. So I didn't think they felt too comfortable on that one. But in the top lane, it looks like Kyung had the passing, and Siri's in a bad spot. That's going to be Sage's Sanctuary. Can they turn this around? Siri continuing to fight the duel of death. He does get killed. Siri is down, but Dao somehow still alive. The Unbridled Outburst now going to be committed, and it looks like Dao is continuing to fight. Kyung is going to be back in a second, but Dao is continuing. Somehow, finally goes down. Haku goes down as well, but that's going to be just the Sage's Sanctuary. The Unending Sorrow now going to be used. Faye's going to be chased out by Woodwind. He wants to go for him, but Faye, he's going to recall, but they've gotten Haku. The Death at Sunset lands onto Illusion, and Illusion is running for his life. The Sea of Fate just to say hi, but ride the wind, and they knock him down, and Fearless Esports strike back.
Yep, in the war of attrition, Fearless Esports make it work, and now they're going to start working down towards the top lane. They need to break, they need to carve an opening into the base on the side of Nongshim Red Force. And right now, 20 seconds is too painful.
It's too painful, though. Here's the Whirlpool. Everybody is joined the fight. The Resplendent Revolver from Siri. They need to stay alive. He needs to be careful. Maybe you give up the T3, and they do. But the base is wide open. The minions are slowly creeping in. But Kyung is now joined back in. The Death at Sunset. Faye is getting a little bit low. Kyung continuing to fight. He does have the Soul Resonance. The Flaming Palm does end up picking up Faye. That's a big one. But Haku is back up as well. But the Fever Barrage, he actually gets back the Infinite Fastness. Babel is looking to get targeted. He does go down. So they've got this. But the Infinite Fastness from KK, he's going to survive. And somehow Nongshim still be able to hold.
Oh my goodness, both teams just playing their hearts out at this point, and it's tough, right? Because any single mistake is going to be the killing blow at this point. Skydome going to be in the hands of Kyung. They need as much survivability as they can. Crimson Golem going into the hands of Siri. Maybe this might change the fight for them.
The net worth is completely changed. And again, I know it's past 20 minutes. It doesn't really matter anymore, but I just think it speaks volumes about how Fearless Esports were able to come back. I think that this Woodwind Dachao pick has been on point, being able to split push. The only issue is that they haven't had that avenue of attack in terms of the mid lane, which is, again, fully fortified by Nongshim. So if anything, the top lane, they're going to continue to push that in. That's going to be a bit of an issue right now, but it looks like Nongshim, starting at least the Tempest Dragon, maybe they've got the fast fingers this time.
We'll see, right? The kiting and the deterrence coming in from Kyung as well. They want to make sure Dao doesn't have an entry point at all.
Yeah, and it looks like Xinglin pushing the top lane is to the last second. The Whirlpool will be used. The Sea of Fate is on the side. Something to take note of. Dao is at half-life already. Siri looking to burn this down as quickly as possible with Faye in the front line. Fable has the winner is here. They're going to go. Here's the Whirlpool and the Unbridled Outburst, but it looks like Faye gets the steal or gets the kill on the Tempest Dragon. That's a huge win. The Sea of Fate, do they get on out of this? Xinglin does survive. Everybody's backed off, but they've taken the Tempest Dragon, and Nongshim take a huge victory on that one.
Okay, big win for the side of Nongshim Red Force. They missed once with the Shadow Overlord. This time, will they miss again with the Tempest Dragon?
This could be huge. This is how they push what they need to do. They need to ensure that the coordination is on point. The Vanguards are going to be pushing. Nongshim right now in the driver's seat. Kyung looking to push the top lane. You have the rest of Nongshim pushing the middle right now. And it looks like they're going to just force Fearless Esports to have to play defense, not get out of their base. But this net worth lead is just all over the place.
Yep, it's all synced up.
They're all synced up here. Haku gets knocked back in. That T3 mid is somehow still alive. Oh, they do end up getting... Oh, they're trying to go for Illusion. The Sage's Sanctuary, the Death at Sunset. He's trying to chase. The Xinglan is getting a little bit low, but the Unending Sorrow from Haku keeping him alive. And they do have it. Xinglan survives in the very end. The Infinite Fastness all the way back. The Unbridled Outburst, but they've gotten Fable. He was the first to fall. The Sage's Sanctuary from Illusion. He's going to be back for round 2, but Kyung, he's going to be killed. And that's going to be a 1-for-1 thus far. Dao is back up as well. But with that base being under siege, the T3 mid has been taken. The Vanguard is pushing the bottom lane. And here's the next wave of Vanguards coming.
Okay, this is the second wave, right? If I'm not wrong, or the third wave. At this point, it is all in the air.
It's all in the air. Siri looking to just push out that bottom T3. The Death at Sunset on point. Does actually connect. The Meteor Kill is going to be there, but Xingling is a little bit far. The rest of the team hasn't been able to join him. That bottom T3 has been taken out. Fearless Esports' base is wide open.
Yep, the Barren Wastelands now are the base of Fearless Esports. They still have the last wave of Tempest Dragons to deal with, or Tempest Vanguards at this point. And they survived, right? They did survive, but it's a tough survival because now the base is open. Nongshim, can they deal the killing blow, right? We've seen in the War of Attrition, depending on how it goes, with the buying of Sage's Sanctuaries, with the Splendors, with the Moon Goddesses, it makes a world's difference. Farm may not be important, but they need as much of it now to be able to item switch.
For sure, and they're definitely going to need that, right? I think if anything, Nongshim, if they're going to go for an attack, they need to understand where that top lane is. Obviously, both will push on both ends, but it's one of those things where they're the most vulnerable. That's the only thing that they need to worry about as they slow siege the mid lane right now. Oh, but they're looking to go for this one. They get the nice little knockoff. Xinglan is going to get them, but the winner is here. He looks like Xinglan is not scared. He's going to get the Moonlight, the Meteor Kill. The Sea of Fate keeps them alive, and they're going to back up, but the next Tempest Dragon up in about 15 seconds. Something to take note of.
Yeah, so Nongshim is fighting essentially 5v10, right? Every single time the Eye of the Whirlpool and the Sea of Fate combination drops down, it's really hard for them to win the fight because it's a new player altogether.
New play, but it looks like they're just kind of pushing across. They could go for this one if they want. Fearless Esports make a beeline for it. They want to see what's happening in this Tempest Dragon home, but they're going to find it empty. Nongshim have made their rotation. They're going to look to go bottom lane.
Yep, you know what? At this point, Nongshim, they don't even have to contest for the Tempest Dragon, right? Just get the split push in. Naturally, they will have the back off on the side of Fearless Esports. We will have access towards that Tempest Dragon. So that's exactly what FEH is doing. And bear in mind, they have double smites. This is really important. It's hard. Yeah,
it's really hard. And I mean, Nongshim right now, if Fearless Esports were to commit resources into taking out the Tempest Dragon, you have the mid and the bottom lane that's wide open, and they could just end the game, right? So they have to play this very precariously, or very cautiously, excuse me. Faye is still up in front. It looks like they're going to start the Tempest Dragon. Kyung will make a beeline for this. The Whirlpool has been committed. The winner is here. Is just going to zone them away. They have the Meteor Kill that's connecting. He's going to go immune for now. Illusion looking to turn this around. Fable goes immune as well. He's looking to go. But the Umbrella Outburst, the Slaughter, he's looking to go. The Man Stampede, the Infinite Vastness, he looks to go for this one, but the Sage's Sanctuary, that's going to be life number 1. The Sea of Fate, perfectly timed. Keeps him alive. He's going to heal back up. That was actually very nicely played by Fearless Esports.
Yep, and the only win condition here is on the top lane, right? And it's going to be instantly cancelled out by Kyung right now. Dao's still around the area. I'm not sure whether they know this or not.
Yeah, fixing the lane. NS right now just looking to push Dao, taking a ton of damage. Oh, he gets got out! Did not expect the damage from Siri. Illusion is going to be back up, but now they want to go Xinglan. He's trying to fight this 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4. Here comes Kyung. Path of Passing, he goes right after them, but Fable in a bad spot. He's going to go back with the Sage's Sanctuary. He's going to be killed a second time. Nongshim now are looking to just end this game. The Unending Sorrow from Haku all the way up in front, and they have that one. The Red's coming up once yet again. It looks like he's going to be killed. Xinglan, and it looks like Nongshim have the edge. They just need their minions. The Sea of Fate is just going to push him back, but what at what cost? Here's the super minion. They get it in, and they're looking to close this game out, and they do end up killing the game, and they win. Nongshim take the victory.
Big win coming in from Nongshim Red Force. You can see what it means to them at this point. It was hard fought. I mean, there is no word to describe the feeling they are going through right now. There's so many things, right? Excited, they're happy, and stress. End of the day, what a performance by Nongshim Red Force. They pull Fearless Esports down from the pedestal and say, no, you join us and you earn that right to go into the finals as the one team.
What a bounce back by Nongshim. Just being able to play that one out. That was so back and forth. They had the lead, understood just strategically what you needed to have done. I mean, that end game was almost textbook in terms of how to close the game out, forcing the team into a pretty bad decision, right? It's either do or die in that situation. Like, you try to go for that Tempest Dragon, you're in a bad spot. And I just felt like Nongshim just played that one to the T.
Yep, they have perfect understanding of what needs to happen, right? And guys, this is what I mean by map control.